been a busy week here, so that's for sure, and things are ramping up even more, like with the Gitcoin thing starting to roll out, assuming it passes tomorrow, which it looks like it will. So so let's start off with just some good old-fashioned intentions and distractions. Tam, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, sure. So intentions, I assume we're gonna have a fun agenda to talk about the new proposal in the forum, which seems very exciting, and all the other stuff we're going to talk about, looking forward to, and just catching up to see what our next few weeks look like. And distractions, I mean, a little bit, strikes in France, I mean, children are home and that kind of stuff, so it's been like a weird period. Really, really striking now, very strong strikes. So that maybe I'm a little distracted, but I'm turning my camera on and you're going to see when I'm distracted. And I'll pass to Mitch.
I am here to listen about the TECTA proposal, and also just take some time to put an update to the Twitter praise proposal in front of you guys, and just hear any feedback if there's any to give. And I'll pass it on to Isaac.
Thanks. Intentions, well, just hear everyone and chat about the grants project, which is getting closer by the second. And distractions, I have a bit of a cold, so but well, whatever. I'll pass it over to Bear.
Thank you, Isaac. Yeah, intentions. Yeah, go through the agenda items, talk a little bit more about the grants project. That's gonna be really, really exciting. And yeah, just kind of like start consolidating and focusing all our energies there. I think that's gonna be important. And distractions, just having something to eat right now. So that's all for me. I'll pass it on to Griff.
Sorry, trying to find that mute button. Yeah, I am. My intention is to introduce AI April, which some of you have heard too many times, probably, and of course, be part of all the fun discussions that there's so much action every week. And I am very distracted because I am at the airport and I will be needing to run my flight during this call. And I'll throw it over to Nate.
Thanks, Griff. Yeah, my intentions are to engage around the grants program, which I'm really excited about. I think this is going to be pretty big and pretty huge for the TEC to get out there, so it's really exciting. And my distractions are currently I'm just having my morning coffee, and so yeah, that's it. I'll pass it back to you, Gideon.
Coffee is not a distraction for me. That's my intention, actually. So I'm the opposite. And here it is. My intention is really just to get a lot of clarity around the Gitcoins project that's moving through. I mean, it's going to pass tomorrow. Looks like tomorrow, right around this time. So so I was just on a call with Isaac, and we're ramping that up. So I just want to get us all, rallied and ready for that. Distraction is like in the back of my mind. There's just a lot of stuff. There's a lot of complexity moving through the TEC right now. Super, super complex. A lot of moves, and I've mentioned this, I think, to most people on this call, but next Saturday I leave for like 2 weeks, and I'm going to be off the grid. Yeah, I'm just really trying to I'm a little bit stressed about just trying to make sure that all of this, the proposals and all this stuff pass, and there've been some kind of funky things that have been happening over the last 72 hours on that front. So, but other than that, I'm all here, and I'm now starting to just turn my focus to the Gitcoin thing, and that's what I'd like us to jump in on. For as far as quick updates, I'll give a quick update on the proposal front, and then if other folks have some things they'd like to update on, just quick updates, that'd be great. The bulk of the call is going to be on the grants project. And then also, Griff asked for some time to talk about the Giveth AI, or the AI April program that Giveth is rolling out. It's not just Giveth, I guess, but we'll learn more about it. So those are the two main priorities for today. Hey, Honka, welcome. So just a quick update on the proposals, well, really the TEA, TEC joint proposal. That proposal was super complicated, super complex to move through because, like, as you can imagine, trying to coordinate two organizations, and then also we had kind of like a last minute set of recommendations that were actually pretty cool coming in from Paul Kohlhaas. Really, really cool, actually. That was like the AI stuff. So that is now up on the forum. And interestingly, he threw up his original forum up there, or his original proposal there as well. And I haven't had a chance to talk to him to see whether he's intending that as like a competitive proposal or something that comes after this one. I still am not sure, so I will be following up with him on that. Never a dull moment, at least over this last couple of weeks. On Thursday, Angela and I are thinking about having the first part of the call on the Thursday coordination call be an AMA about this proposal. Just because it's kind of, I mean, it's a big proposal. It's like the biggest grant proposal that has come through. And so we wanted to make space just to make sure that everybody can ask questions about it. So that's what we're thinking right now. So I'll stop there and check on two things. One, if there are any questions about that, and two, if anybody else has any quick updates. Five, four.
Gideon and everyone, I just want to share that as a proactive movement, Gravity will be moving its activity to a new Discord, and I see this as a way of growing, and we do this like with the best respect to the TC and the most gratefulness that we have. So I will be sharing the invite link if anyone wants to join. I am and Septi are still working on the bots, so maybe a little bit of patience if like some of the things are still on the works, but it's just yes, a way that we feel that it's the right time and with the right intentions to do. So I will paste the invite link here. And yes, you are all welcome to join and super invited.
Thanks, Wonka. That's really awesome.
Okay.
Go ahead, Gideon.
Oh, just really quick thing. Honka asked for some time next week. Are you still wanting to do that next week to walk through what's happening with Gravity?
Oh, sure. It's just that as I remember that we did like a ritual of the retirement of the working groups, and I think it would be good also to have like a little moment to just see the path that we've covered, and yeah, some of the intentions behind yeah, the new path that we are trying to take.
Yeah, and so you still would like to do that next week, right?
Sure.
Okay. Yep, it's on the schedule now.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. Mitch.
Yeah, I'll just get it out of the way here. we talked to, this is about building Twitter praise. So we talked to Giveth, and it looks like unanimously they're going to pass a proposal to give us developers. So we reduced the ask by about 60%, basically only asking for $7,000 to cover the cost of project management and QA testing. But Giveth is pretty in to give us developers to build Twitter praise. So that's up on the forum post. Something for me that's not clear, I can see that we're switching from DAO voting to conviction voting, but there's some conviction votes that are up right now. What should I do to ask for the funding? What do we use?
This will come back to the same situation we had with the bonding curve group, where the decision is in your hands. We do have a set cutoff date of April 20th for the CB. So if it doesn't pass within the conviction voting by that date, it will be cut off, and you'd have to resort to TAO voting at that point.
So we got about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
And also to be clear, because Livy has been asking some questions about this, we gave the bonding curve team the option also of just going straight to DAO voting if they wanted to do that as well. So we gave them the option of, basically pushing to try to get it through conviction voting in the time frame, and or doing DAO voting. This is not ideal. This is kind of a messy process, but I don't think we ever anticipated having to move off of conviction voting onto DAO voting. And so
I think
we're trying,
because the dollar amount is such a low ask, I think it'll probably have a better shot through conviction voting, to be honest.
Yeah, it's I that's what I would do if I were you, but it's up to you guys. So
great. That answers my questions. Thanks, Nate. Thanks, Gideon.
Yep. Cool. So let's see. And Mitch, I don't know if you, maybe we shouldn't get into this, but yeah, let's not get into it. I was just going to ask about the whole reputation thing, but I don't want to open that can.
I knew you were going to ask about that.
Let's not get into it, because
it looks like you got a great plan for the TEC utility in this TECTA proposal, maybe there's 2 tokens that made in parallel, but I think what tokens we distribute can be abstracted from the functionality of being able to dish Twitter on praise.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's
okay.
Yep. Later. Yep. Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody. Let's get into the grant project. Isaac, you want to lead us through where we're at?
Yeah, very quickly. I'm just wondering if Griff wanted to do the Giveth AI first, because he said he's about to take a flight. If that's quick, I don't know if that's better or.
Sure, Griff. We're going to be doing some brainstorming. I want to have Griff around definitely for the brainstorming on outreach for the grants program. But Griff, how much time do you have before you need to board?
I think I could probably take 3 minutes right now and give an overview and then be done with it. I think that's probably easier.
Yeah.
Can you hear me okay?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry I can't share screen, but please feel free to open up the comments, and if someone else wants to share screen, that's super cool. I put the Google Doc into the chat. But AI April, so I don't know, have you guys heard of this Chat GPT thing? Someone told me it's kind of cool. I don't know. But yeah, I really think that we as the Giveth Galaxy really need to double down on understanding how useful this can be for our day-to-day life. And so I'm trying to encourage, it's a little harder in the TEC than in other groups, but I'm trying to encourage everyone to take a day off this week or this month, sometime in April, take a full day off and dedicate it only to AI. Turn off your DMs, turn off everything, and just dive into all the tools that are out there, whether it's Midjourney, ChatGPT, and who knows what tools are going to come out next week. And there's a bunch of bounties out there for the best projects. all of it's in this document, and I strongly recommend you check it out. The main things you need to know is there's a link to the Telegram chat that everyone is welcome to join, and share links. If you want to buy a piece of software that has some kind of AI component, please do it, and I will reimburse you. The only rule is you have to share your username and password with the rest of the community, and also check to make sure that no one else already bought it, so that we can share these tools. Also, there's another link in there that's for a spreadsheet. That spreadsheet has different columns. Each column represents a Friday call. So we have Friday calls at 1 p.m. to start, then 2 p.m. In the last 2 weeks on Fridays, as well as I believe 8 p.m. every Friday, Barcelona time, so that we have an Asian-friendly and a US-friendly time zone. Both of them are Europe-friendly. Obviously, it's Barcelona time. And so sign up. If you're interested in participating. There is a cap of 80 people, and there are more than 80 people in the galaxy. So not everyone will participate, but it's only like 90 when I counted it up. So pretty much everyone who wants to can, but you have to sign up. So please sign up for the sheet. If you're not working very much in the galaxy, I might ask you to bow out, but it's very unlikely. Yeah, and there's about $5,000 in bounties. The way it'll work is that every week there'll be a winner chosen. So everyone's going to get 5 minutes to present their project. And the best project is it's not like a hackathon where it's like, oh, here's this application that I have. No, it's actually more like, here is this thing that I did that represents stuff that I would normally do. But look, this would usually take me 2 weeks to do, and I did it in a day. Let me show this off. So the output is not necessarily like a standalone project. It's really just it's just good work, and you'll want to explain what you did and how you use ChatGPT to do it. The most impactful use of AI to do like crazy work is going to win $500 for that week, and the two runners up will win $250. And then there's also a list of bounties at the end that are like the best use of AI for product management or for user experience or Solidity development. So those will be awarded a week in the first week of May, and I will take into account like the projects that go early, the ones that are more inspiring to future projects will be noted, and the projects near the end, they're going to have better tools and a lot of wisdom, so the bar will be higher for the output that they put out. So yeah, that's AI April. I think the TEC has an opportunity, especially to be really AI focused, and Paul, who is a very influential token holder, is almost demanding this from us. So it's very likely that this community moves in this direction, and hopefully no one gets left behind. So sign up on this Excel spreadsheet as soon as you can, and we'll get this party going. I hope you guys enjoy it. Any questions?
I have one. So basically, it's like if you put your name, for example, in April 14th, 7 p.m. Barcelona, is that I have to share how I have been using AI with my work?
Kind of. The expectation is that you took a full day off to build something with AI, and that you will show off that thing that you built, or that piece of work that you did using AI tools during that 5 minutes.
To create content for the course, because it's so much content and so many lessons. So like I have been using it to design content for the course.
Yeah, so if you think that that's 8 hours worth of work that you can show off and put into a 5-minute presentation on how you're using ChatGPT to do it, that would totally qualify.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Griff? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. By the way, I learned that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 thing from Eduardo, so I always think of him when I do it.
Me too.
Okay,
I always think of Eduardo when you do it. It's great.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get some of his Eduardo glasses. I'll put those on when I do it, just so I can do it in style. Okay, so super cool, Griff. I'm just really excited about that. I think it's really cool. And also, I mean, for those who haven't seen the proposal yet, the Joint Academy and TEC proposal, like one of the things we're talking about is late April, early May, convening like a workshop with AI and token engineering experts to look at like some of these applications. So it's just perfect synergy. I didn't know that Griff was planning this when Paul was bending my ear and we were like brainstorming on the AI stuff, and Angela's super excited. She's got a bunch of connections, and it's also kind of builds on some of the stuff that Nate and what we've been doing with the curation service. It's just like the rest of the world, everybody's kind of pointing in this direction. So it's cool. I think it's so great. So okay, let's move on to talk about the Gitcoin grant program. Now, Isaac, go ahead.
Cool. Yeah. So we've been talking about this for a bit, and I'm very happy to see that the proposal is about to pass. It has just about 22 hours left. And so let's quickly go over it again. 25K matching pool. We're going to run it most likely in Optimism. We don't have the chain assigned yet, but it's like 90% plus Optimism, and we are going to distribute the matching pool in TEC tokens. That's sort of it. As far as dates, because we are going to be running the round as a Gitcoin partner, we're going to be using the same dates that they have planned, which so far are so the beta round they're going to have now in April is going to run from April 25 to May 9th on the allocation protocol. It's going to be announced this Monday 3rd. Projects will be able to build to make their grant on the platform that same week, and they're going to projects will be able to apply to different rounds on the next week, so starting April 11th. That's a bit of the date. So we are a bit tight on time. We are working on the communications plan and reach out and some other things, because we do really need to start moving these like now, like yesterday. Before we move on, any question or something? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cool, all set. So something we wanted to do today, that I think it's a great use of our time, is to have a quick brainstorm session to just see which projects are out there, or which people are out there that may be worth just sending them a text, letting them know what's happening. Let me put the link here in the chat.
I just put it in already. Yeah.
Okay, cool, thanks. So that's a spreadsheet in the first tab, which is the brainstorm tab. The first column is we are going to put the project name or a connector. Project name would be like the Academy or CatCat, and a connector would be someone that has some influence or that may know of other projects and individuals that would want to apply. And then the assignee is if anyone feels like taking the task to reach out to them. So yeah, maybe we can take 5-10 minutes. Lisa, let me know once everyone is in the spreadsheet or if anyone has access.
Hey, Isaac, do you want to just tell them a little bit more about, like, basically, we'll probably pull together like a little DM, like a suggested outreach that just says, like, here's the dates, here's what we're looking for roughly. But we're still, this is like in advance of having all the criteria and all the stuff pulled together. This is more just like heads up. This is coming. We'd like your help with reaching out to some promising token engineering projects.
Yeah.
Did I get that right?
Yeah. So I'm hoping that we start reaching out to people and projects the exact same week, just to get them on the loop. And then as we have the documentation and all the documents nailed down, then we can send them to them. But they are already aware that they have or want to apply to this round. All right. So if everyone is on the spreadsheet, I'll set a timer of 5 minutes. And if we need more, we can take a bit more. But and that's starting now.
And for those of you who, like Griff, if you're on your phone and you can't get into the spreadsheet very easily, just feel free to throw out some names and I'll type them in.
Well, thanks, Gideon. I will take you up on that. I'm just getting settled. I would definitely say Token Spice. I don't know who's maintaining that, but it's pretty nice tooling. There's the Giveth donation of dev power for praise Twitter. I don't know. I feel like I don't know if that qualifies, but it's it would be nice.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm not Isaac. I'm not able to type in this for some reason. It's view only.
It shouldn't. Can you try to just refresh the page?
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Okay, Griff, tell me one more time. Token Spies.
Mitch's proposal here of free giveth dev power. 90 hours of dev power is not cheap, so that'd be cool.
270, 90 hours monthly.
Boom. Obviously, I would think that there's some academy projects. I think Angela as a person and Zargum as a person, like I don't know that they want donations as people, but sometimes you see this on the Gitcoin grants of just like really awesome people that just do good work all the time.
Yeah, that was on the Dow drops too a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
So actually, we should clarify. What we're looking for right now is more like to get the word out. Who should we talk to be spreaders? To help us find projects.
Mm-hmm. Well, definitely Jeff and all of Block Science. Jess is an amazing spreader. She definitely gets the word out there. Magenta and the Dow Drops crew, Magenta, Ori, and that whole crew, I mean, they probably just did a bunch of reach out and they got all those submissions that some of them they accepted, some of them they didn't. So that might be worth adding them to the mix. I think before reaching out to anyone, I hope that we have like a very clear tweet thread with requirements or eligibility requirements, because like this could go a lot of ways. There's a million ways to do it where just any project can submit. And what does it take to be a token engineering related project? I hope that that's like really clearly defined and public before we reach out to them so that they have something to point to. Especially a Twitter thread is a nice tool. Hmm. Phil H is another one. He's pretty well connected to a lot of projects.
Lee?
Oh yeah, Lee's super cool. She might know. Like basically anyone who runs grant programs or is connected to hackathons.
Lee 007. She was one of those, I don't know, I can't say that alpha. But she does a lot of work in Aragon governance. She's one of our quantifiers. She participates.
Cool, this is great.
Obviously YGG is going to be an important one.
And are other people able to get into the? I only see like 2 people in the spreadsheet at this point. So
I'm just here, just telling you what to do. Sorry, I'll go in here.
yeah, I mean, it's easier. People can. I think this will go a lot faster if people just type it in themselves. That's like that would be the ideal thing, rather than like having everybody say this out loud and I type.
I've dropped some ideas in there too. I really think probably the most important thing is like having that communication and then like tagging people in Twitter, like tagging people and asking people to retweet on Twitter is also, and like posting in Discord channels on different Discord servers is probably going to help a lot too.
Yeah, the eligibility requirements is something that I think, it might need to go through some type of advice process, because I think that this is very difficult, because I don't think we should, especially being our first grant program, kind of limit it too narrow to the point where nobody can qualify. But I'm not sure exactly. I mean, we have to have some type of boundaries for it, but I'm not sure exactly how to define those.
We've already talked about criteria overall for the past few weeks, and I think for the sake of time, I'll probably just try to put them down on a document. Have a 1 or 2 or 3 days for any advice, and then just go with it.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, the things that come up when we apply for this kind of thing, as Common Stack or TEC, is like, do you have an active GitHub repository? Like, prove that you're actually building open source code. And is it really a token engineering project, or is it, a different project, but they're just applying for token engineering? I feel like those 2 are probably the foundationals.
Yeah, and just also the Gitcoin team has shared like a bunch of documents with us, and so it's at this point it's more like copy paste and then just edit, so it makes sense for us. Cool. Do we need more time? We have already spent the 5 minutes.
Can I just add Alp from Proposal Inverter and Disruption Joe from Gitcoin?
Who was it? Alp? I don't know. Who is that?
He's relatively easy. He's like the lead, one of the extroverted people behind Proposal Inverter. But you could also add Atta instead if you want. But I think Alp's
but Alp's the heavy hitter.
Yeah, I mean I think he's the most extroverted.
Okay. All right. So why don't we can stop here, and what we'll probably do is maybe follow up in No, this is probably good enough. I think if you've got additional ideas that come to you over the next couple of days, it's super important. Like getting word out, especially for this first one. You know, because like once we do these, after a while, these will start to build their own momentum. You know, but like in this first one, like people are not expecting this from the TC, so we really are going to need to get this out into people. So if you can just like take a little bit of time over this next couple of days and help us just think about like, okay, wait, let me get a quiet few moments. Think like actually maybe look through your Twitter account, like look at your followers or people you follow, I should say, and then use that to kind of like maybe come up with a few more names. That would be super, super helpful. That would be one of the ways you could really help. And then one last thing on this too, on the criteria, I just want to share some thoughts on criteria that's a little bit, this is a kind of a fuzzier area that's a little bit hard, but Isaac and I were talking about it today. We were talking about like the academy and but it's not just the academy, but like, you know, we want to support it'd be great to like help, you know, have this be something that the academy can use to you know, fund a bunch of education projects. But, you know, it opens the door to you know, if the academy were just like cranking out a whole bunch of projects for this, and it was like clearly the Token Engineering Academy that was just cranking out a bunch of projects, one that might like tint the credibility of this, like make it look like it's a captured program. You know, that's one thing. But then also, if we allowed that to happen, then what would be, you know, how fair is that to other organizations that would want to submit multiple grants? And then you kind of open yourself to almost like a form of Sybil attack, you know, where like the same organization can just take their whole budget and break it into a bunch of small grants, and you know, so we're trying to strike the right balance here on that, like how we do that. And so where we haven't figured out how to describe this yet, but I just want to try to like paint this picture of what we think is maybe a fair way of doing it, which is like, you know, if you're an organization, you get one grant to submit, but if you have a community of people and they independently want to submit grants, you know, like that should be fine, right? And it's just the kind of the fuzzy line is like, how do we draw that distinction? You know, so if, for example, like the academy was like, hey, you know, study groups, if you want to do this, go ahead and do it. But like the TEA can't be coordinated. The volition, the impetus has to come from the people in the community. So I just wanted to throw that out. This is one of the things we're struggling with. It's kind of like a fuzzy line. So it would be great to just get some initial thoughts on that from.
Yeah, about that, and generally any other criteria or thing that anyone here may think that's, you know, important that we take in mind when we review all the grants.
Any thoughts at all on this?
I mean, does Gitcoin have a process for managing like how many proposals any individual project can make, or like I don't know. I do agree that if, you know, Token Engineering Academy throws up, you know, 6 proposals and they end up taking, you know, 50 or 60% of the allotted, you know, grant pool, like, yeah, I think that takes away from you know, what we're trying to accomplish with this grant protocol. But it just depends. I don't know.
I'm not sure how it exactly works on the inside, but I know the fraud detection team, they, you know, they review all the grants, and if anything is suspicious, they just get in touch and investigate it.
Yeah, and there's a few knobs in that you can twist to make things work. Like, you know, okay, max 1 grant, but like for instance, General Magic has, it supports the Praise project, and then it also has the side project Pairwise, and they're very distinct projects that will spin out into being their own things if they get the funding, but it's kind of being incubated. And so there's like I don't know. I feel like, but then you could also say the same about like study groups versus the academy website. I think that we might have to do this a couple times and see what makes sense. Like do our best to give some kind of limits or things, but like what makes sense, and give into some subjectivity of the people on the front line. Also, there is like a percentage cap of the matching pool that you can say that any one project can get. So you can say like, oh yeah, this no project can get more than X% of the matching pool. And, if that's set, depending on where you set that, it can also influence this.
Honestly, my biggest worry with Academy is that, for example, they have regular sessions for the host. And say if Angela says, hey, if you would like some support to run your study group, feel free to apply to the grants program. That's like more than 20 study groups, so that's hard. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess the big question here is like, what would we, looking back on our grants program in like a month or two, what would we consider a successful initial program to look like? Like, what would success be defined as in the context of this grant program that we're trying to facilitate? And I'm not sure the answer to that, and that's kind of the hard part, because at the end of the day, if they Token Engineering Academy and with all their projects do end up taking like 70%, we might as well have just done a one-time grant proposal through TAL voting or conviction voting. So it's something that we have to really define, like what does this successful grant program look like, and try to achieve that.
The way we've been thinking about at least this first round was to seed projects, so more like hopefully trying to get more projects on initial stages and just grow the ecosystem overall. I'm just thinking that probably one way to put it is one grant per project. And so, for example, in the case of General Magic, they have multiple projects, so that would be considered fair. But in the case of the Academy, at the end of the day, it's one project. It's multiple study groups, but they are all the same project, part of the same thing. They follow the same I forgot the word, but they follow the course and all of that. And I'm just thinking probably one other criteria should be that they haven't received money from the common pool at least in I don't know, in a few months or something like that. So probably the academy would end up having like one grant that's probably for the scholarships and things like that, and then try to work with them so that individuals know how to frame their grant, and they are not applying for a study group grant, but they are applying for a grant for themselves. So like if I were to apply because I was running a study group, it would be more like I do education for token engineering, and one of the ways is through the academy. Is that something fair, or?
Sounds like a good direction to me. I mean, I think you have a lot more insight here than most of us. So I trust your judgment.
Because we have a few minutes and we don't have anything else on this call. Let's just I love your question, Nate, and I think it's worth pursuing that just for like 5 minutes. And then we can maybe end the call a little bit. But Nate's question is, if we were to, in like 2 to 3 months from now, if we were to look back, what would we consider a successful first grant round? Like, what would be the goals that, like if we looked and we were like, oh, look what we did boom, boom, boom. What would be the things that we look back on and go like, hey, damn, that was good?
Yeah,
this might. Oh, go ahead, Nate. You go ahead first.
Sorry. I was just gonna say, one of my big things is I think that the purpose of these grant rounds is to kind of really surface new token engineering projects to kind of give them exposure. Not just fund them, but kind of get eyeballs on them for potential token engineers to end up, joining their ranks or kind of growing their community to make the money that we do give them more effective and more impactful in the long term. And so I think that having a lot of a highly diverse set of applicants is a high priority, in my opinion, to be considered successful.
I think Nate nailed it right there. I will also add, some more boring, less egalitarian metrics of like, how many extra Twitter followers did we get from this? How much extra engagement in the Discord did we get? How many how many new people joined our Discord, or how many donors were there? Like, are there more? Did we have more people participating in this than we did the hatch? Just total number of individual donors, total number of projects. And yeah, I think like this is like a way of stretching how well known the TEC is in this space and getting our brand out there a little bit. It's kind of it's probably not what you were expecting when you were thinking of this question, but I do think we gotta also look and make sure that we're making an effort to, did the TEC price go up? Did people buy into the bonding curve? Of course, that's a good metric.
Yeah, that's good. Cam, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to throw in to just to balance our expectations. This is the first round that we're doing, and it's also not such a huge amount of money, but it is a nice test in the first iteration for us to learn and move forward. So I'm just thinking almost that just having completed it is a success. Now, if we actually, launch it and complete it, and we're able to fund some token engineering projects, get our awareness of token engineering commons out in the public, I mean, it's almost just like, what does failure look like? Because just having gone through this is a success, and we should definitely use these metrics and be able to measure, because we'll be doing future ones. But honestly, if we just finish it and we have like no scams and no major problems, it's like completion is a really nice success, because what we're doing is distributing funding and matching funding to really cool projects.
Totally agree. The one thing I can pretty much promise you is there's going to be some snafus. Like we saw in the alpha rounds, there were a lot of issues, like even if we execute perfectly, like this is new technology, and I mean, blah, blah, blah. There's so much uncertainty, and we're moving really, and this is a really fast turnaround. So totally agree, Tam. Yeah, I think that's important. Well, does anybody else have any thoughts before we close out? This is great input, and I mean, yeah, perfect time. Like the timing. Speak now, or like this ship is moving really quickly. So now is the time. Like now is the time to say something if you feel strongly about this. Okay. Well, great. Thank you, everybody, for all of the input, and as a reward to ourselves, we get to end 8 minutes early. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you all, and have a good day / night, wherever you are in the world, and see y'all later.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.